You know, sometimes right before bass go into the spawn, move up in the shallows and make nests and lay their eggs, they stage out into the coves, out in the mouth of coves, and they can be tough to catch sometimes right before the spawn starts to hit. Stay tuned and I'll show you how I struggle through to catch a few bass while they're staged up before the spawn.
Shane Flynn Outdoors, brought to you by Omnia Fishing. Experience the most personalized tackle shopping on earth. And MMA Fishing, fight the bite. Also by Bent Rod Fishing. Get bent, stay bent.
What a big girl!
Hey everybody, today's episode is really a lot about patience and persistence. I'm on a lake that I'm very familiar with and the water's getting close to that temperature where the bass are spawning. But I know these bass are staging in this cove area here in 6 to 8 feet of water. I've caught them there before, very familiar, like I said, with the lake, but I could see them on live scope as well. And it's a great example. Just because you have live scope and you see bass doesn't mean you're going to catch bass. Now also you can see I have all those rods laid out on a boat. I had to throw just about everything in the tackle box to finally successfully catch fish. I will tell you, it was a reaction bite that caught most of them. So I won't spoil how I caught them, but I'll talk about what's going on in this episode throughout it. And we do finally catch some fish. We'll just get right to the action.
So every bit of me just wants to get out here and run and gun. Because I know there's some bass running around in these coves. But I think the best opportunity is just to kind of set in here and see if we can get a couple of the bigger ones to bite. And hopefully I can do something. You know, I got a little bit of sun's going to come out in just a few minutes. Maybe buzz a spinnerbait through or something. Just change it up until we get one to commit. Probably give this cove a little bit of a rest. Over this neck. Yeah, I'll fish this a little bit, give this cove a rest, move over to the next cove, see if there's any fish in there. I mean, the activity in here is just unreal. I mean, I rarely ever see this many giant bass in my life. I mean, I'll see one every once in a while. We usually don't catch that one either. But the number of large fish that I'm seeing is unreal. And knowing that this is, I mean, you can see them here. Those are big fish, big marks. And knowing that this is a spawning cove, you know, all the ingredients are right for this to be a hot spot to catch some bass.
So I just left the cove and came back and I decided to throw around with a spinnerbait to see if I can get any type of reaction bites out here where I see in all these big bass.
There it is. I knew you'd be down there, Mama. This is a 25-pounder in the boat. I knew you'd be down there. Couldn't resist that spinnerbait. Woo! Nice one. Nice one. So folks, it's almost dark here. What I did today is I came out, the water temperature was 57, 58. It was warming up all day. The wind was really calm. And I knew it'd get the water up around 60 to 62. It's 61 right now, 61.2. I knew these big bass would start moving up, finding a place to spawn. Look how fat she is. She's ready to spawn. And I coasted back into this cove where I know the bass spawn at, and I was watching, and they're swimming all over the place. And I threw the spinnerbait. Initially, I threw a jig, I threw a worm, but they hit the spinnerbait. So, nice 5-pounder, about 4.5, 5 pounds. We'll get started. I got about 45 more minutes to fish. Let's see if we can put some more in the boat. Come on, buddy. All right, maybe he's not a big one. Nice big fatty. Got him on a jig. He wanted that jig. Thank you, buddy. Man, I'm gonna run out of time. Guys, I don't know if you can see this. There's just bass. They're ready to spawn. They're stacked up here. They spawn in this cove, and they're sitting in here in 6 to 8 foot of water. And I'm throwing everything. I caught that on a jig. I caught one on a spinnerbait. I missed one on a worm. I'm just trying to get them to bite anything I can get them to bite, because they're right before they get ready to spawn. They kind of get, I don't eat that much, but this is just big ones down here too. So. Finally got one to snap out of it. So that's number 3. Fatty. Spinnerbait seems to do the trick. It's gotta be. Everybody, that's gonna do it for today. Really hard day of fishing. I mean, only had a couple hours here. Like I said, got out of work, buzzed over here. I knew the water temperature was getting that close to that 60. I just seen so many bass on live scope. We caught a few, but they are just not, they're staged up, ready to start getting on beds. I mean, we're at 60.7, right? So we're right there at that. They're, ready to start spawning, but they just were not biting. I ran everything. I have all my rods. I mean, I threw a glide bait, I threw spinnerbait, I threw a Kitech, I threw a white jig, green jig, wacky worm, Cinco, mag draft, creature baits. I threw everything, and I would bring it right by their face and just was not going to hit it. The few that we did caught, it was just because of persistence. I buzzed up one nice 4 or 5 pounder. I buzzed a spinnerbait by, and finally he jumped on it. But I'd fished everything else. I threw the spinnerbait by there 3 or 4 times. So just goes to show, just because the water's perfect and springtime, they might not always jump on your baits. When they're staged up like that, they got one thing on their mind, and that's to get up there, make a nest, and lay eggs, and maybe not feeding right now. So just a good example of what you can expect this time of year in April. But I hope you never have to experience it. I hope when you go back into these coves like we're in now, you catch that PB, or you start catching those giants. But if you're out there and you see those fish, you got them on live scope, or they're in there, and you can't get the bites, sometimes it's a tough day, and you just got to give it to them from time to time. So everybody, thanks for tuning in. Until next time, tight lines and good luck fishing.